Alright, now that says we're live. Now I come over here to make sure everything's working. And we wait. Starting. You are live.
You are live.
And then we go, oh, we're live. And then we see if it's actually got audio. So
check.
Oh, it's trying to do it through that. So I cannot check if there's audio. Here. That's probably a bad idea.
What?
Oh, it's trying to do it through that. So I can't. That is working. Now let me make sure this is still working. Yeah, right. I think we are 100% ready to go. Now I will switch off of that and to my notes. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Hi.
We're back. We made it to 2 episodes. The stat I gave with the GOAT show that we used to do was that like 90% of podcasts end before 7 episodes. We've made it to 2.
On our way to 8.
We haven't made it to that milestone yet. I think the GOAT show made it to like 10 or 11 or something.
I thought it was like 7 or 8.
I think it was a little higher than that, but
we're going to be doing this every week till Christmas break. That's a fact. It's happening.
Oh,
I'm saying it now.
all right. Well, he's got a lot of confidence in this gang, and I guess I do too. Anyway, today is the most researched podcast I personally have ever made. So that is, I'm setting a high bar for this show. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. First of all, the Chiefs won a big football game. It was a while ago, actually. It was 8 days ago, but we're here to give you the most up-to-date talk on how the Chiefs accomplished that victory. We'll look ahead to the Eagles game on Sunday, and we'll talk a little college football after that because I like talking about that. And I have squeezed in a Royals segment.
Just one lousy Royals segment.
Yeah, mostly just to do this.
Yep. Couldn't have put it any better myself.
So,
but it's 1-1. Royals in Cleveland right now.
Yeah.
Start the winning streak now.
Yeah.
Win the next 16 games. Get right back in it.
Yeah, if they literally win every game and have a couple of teams collapse.
Yeah.
They've got this.
All right. Before we get into Royals, let's go to Chiefs.
All right.
Good stuff. Let's talk about good things on this show. We want everyone to be happy. Okay? We don't want to depress the people. Like my buddy C-Dot on 610 says, he's a man for the people. We're men for the people. All right, now let's do this.
Yeah, let's freaking do this. All right, so how the Chiefs won.
I'm not really sure.
Well, I have numbers to tell you why. I have lots of numbers. So, first of all, I wanted to go over my keys to the game that I gave last week. My first thing that I said was I was talking about the first drive, but to make myself sound smarter, I'm going to pretend I was talking about the entire game. But I said on the first drive that they needed to score a touchdown because I've seen it so many times with the Chiefs where they get down to the 30 and stall out and can't do anything because Andy Reid starts getting cute. I said that they needed to get 6 on the first drive, not 3. They ended up scoring 6 touchdowns and 0 field goals the entire game. That's about the least Chiefs thing I can see.
I remember we were sitting on the couch watching the game, and it was 3rd down in the red zone, and I looked at you and I said, okay, here's when we stall. And then Demetrius Harris happened, and I don't know. The whole night was just a huge surprise. I don't think anyone, except for Brad Fanning, expected a big win from the Chiefs. Nonetheless, a freaking 246-yard performance from Kareem Hunt. I'm not going to sound the hot take button right now and say we have a Priest Holmes or Jamal Charles like running back on our roster right now, but the future is looking pretty bright for Kareem.
I'm willing to say he's a Larry Johnson at least.
Sorry, forgot LJ. I loved LJ back in the day.
My next key that I gave was win the turnovers, which they did not.
They did not. No,
they 1-0 Patriots in that stat, but in the end, I feel like the Chiefs did win the turnovers. The New England Patriots had 2 4th down misses, and those don't count as turnovers, but they're called turnovers on downs, so I don't know why they don't count as turnovers. Those were both huge momentum-changing plays. The first one is, as of right now, probably your play of the season. If the Chiefs do not stop that fourth down and the Patriots end up scoring a touchdown on that possession, I don't think there's any way the Chiefs win that game.
Was that the one where Eric Berry came in under the pile and just took out his legs? That was an epic play. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into Eric Berry talk soon, but that was huge.
Yeah, so I think the Chiefs won the turnover battle 2-1, but according to the stat sheet, they didn't.
Right.
I said win the special teams, and I don't think either team won special teams, but the Chiefs certainly did not. No. We had a muffed punt by Tyreek Hill that he managed to recover. We had Thomas had like a 13-yard return on a kickoff. Like, we did not win the special teams. It was a tie at best. So I can't say that was a thing. I talked about winning time of possession. It was within 30 seconds of each other, like right down the middle. So it was a virtual tie on that. The Chiefs did not dominate time of possession.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I took away from the entire game as a whole is the penalties. What do we have? 14 penalties the whole entire game.
15 penalties for 139 yards. I got that in the things to fix.
Oh, well, that's definitely a thing to fix, especially against the Eagles. But definitely, yeah, that was huge. If you told me that 15 penalties against the Patriots any day of the week, I'm going to say you probably lost by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I guess that goes in time of possession and turnovers not really, but yeah, I cannot expect anything less than, I don't know. I'd say I see Andy Reid teams and I say you're probably going to have 4 or 5 turnovers a game because he's such a great coach. I know last year they had some offsides problems, but besides that, he's such a good coach and they're such a well-coached team. You never really expect, nonetheless, more than 5 turnovers. Penalties, excuse me.
You said turnovers twice in that.
Man.
I didn't stop you.
5 turnovers is pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, that would lose most football games.
I think so.
That is Andy Dalton-esque right there.
Oh, God.
This one's for you, Gilkey. Start A.J. McCarron. That's all Gilkey talks about.
A.J. McCarron?
Is starting A.J. McCarron.
He couldn't be much worse at this point. I've been kind of pro Andy Dalton, kind of like I've been pro Alex Smith over the years, but he's taken me to the point now where there's absolutely no supporting him.
I've been in the camp that it's been Andy Dalton, Alex Smith.
Right
now they've done this.
Yeah, they've definitely flip-flopped, and Alex Smith has gone to the top. He's at week 1, 364 yards or something like that? They have there you go.
368.
368 yards, leading the NFL. And Kareem Hunt with
148 carries. Carrying yards. People out there messing with my megaphone. I shouldn't have brought that. And my final key that I gave was winning the line of scrimmage, and that I can say that they did. That's how they stopped. That's how they got 2 fourth-down stops. That's how they had 140-something yards rushing, plus 21 more on 1 carry for Sharkhandrick West, 21 yards.
Yeah,
get that man the ball.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I know our O-line has been better. O-line, D-line with Benny Logan and Mitch Morrison. What's his name?
Chris Jones.
And my man Chris Jones. I wasn't surprised he won the line of scrimmage, but that was kind of the key to the game, like Caleb said.
Don't call me a genius, though.
Yeah, don't call Caleb a genius, but he somewhat is.
I stated a lot of obvious things, and my biggest one was turnovers, and they didn't win that.
Hey,
but they ended up dominating.
The obvious cliche things win you football games, dude.
Yeah, dude. So, since my keys to the game weren't really the reason why they won it, like winning the line of scrimmage, that's a nice thing. But against the Patriots, they can win without having they don't need a line. They just have to have the right arm of Tom Brady usually. So I came up with a few things that were the reason the Chiefs won. So follow me here. Mm-hmm. 2 fourth-down stops. We went over that.
Huge. That was huge.
We went over that a lot. Gronk 2 catches. Brandon Cooks 3 catches.
Well, while that's true, I get kind of sad when I see the Gronk had 2 catches stat because Eric Berry did a tremendous job the entire game. And now that we don't have Eric Berry on our team, with who's gonna play against that big wide receiver, that big tight end like Gronk? Who's gonna go up and check him at the line? Is it gonna be Sorensen? Is it gonna be Ron Parker? I don't know, but. That was definitely a huge key, keeping Gronk out of it, because I kind of went in expecting Gronk to just tear up the Chiefs' D. But yeah, that's great now, but in the future, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, obviously. My next one is 8.7 yards per carry.
That was excellent. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't think anyone expected Kareem Hunt to just take the NFL by storm on day one. I mean, hey, he's a Pro Bowler right now. He's all pro. Week 1, Kareem Hunt's all pro.
He's top 5 in the MVP category.
Yeah, Alex Smith, 1 and 2. Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt. Okay, maybe not, but Alex Smith's number 1 MVP right now. He has my vote.
Yeah.
If the season ended today, Alex Smith is your MVP. So, suck it, haters. Cut Mahomes.
Yeah, I was all over that bandwagon, just messing around during the game. My next one, I put 3 of 6 red zone touchdown conversions by the Pats. Now, that's not like a crazy good defensive stat, but for the Patriots...
Yeah, against the Patriots,
and
keeping them at 50% is great.
They kicked 2 field goals when they were down in the red zone. Like, that's what the Chiefs needed. The way the offense was rolling, they just need to slow down the Patriots. Bend but don't break.
Right.
That's the Chiefs' way.
That's our way.
They normally they bend but then get an interception, but this was bend and force a field goal. That's
right.
Big plays for the first time in my life favored the Chiefs.
Dude, I never go into a Chiefs game with an Alex Smith offense expecting big plays. I think we all are used to the check downs, that 5-7 yard passes, and just make your way to the end zone. Hopefully he makes a good pass in the red zone. Probably not most of the time, but yeah, it was huge. Kareem Hunt with 2 big plays. Not Travis Kelce, excuse me. Tyreek Hill, speed kills again. That peace sign was savage. That was beautiful. Yeah, it's great seeing an Alex Smith offense have huge plays.
Great seeing any offense.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking about this though, like when I said that in my lifetime while you were talking there, like, no, I can't, like, even back during the Trent Green, like, when we had the worst defense but one of the best offenses in football, were we out here making big plays like that and just absolutely shredding a defense down the field. It's pretty cool. Good things happen when you throw the ball down the field.
I like that stuff.
I talked a lot about how the Chiefs needed to be a ball control offense against the Patriots. That's obviously not something they did. They just threw it over them with our deep threats, Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt, apparently. Mm-hmm. And my final thing that the Chiefs, and this is probably the most important thing, was how well they finished. 21-0 in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs won. Like, 21 points in a game will win you a lot of NFL games. Putting it together in the fourth quarter like that in such a dominant fashion, that's why all of the sports shows right now are talking about what's wrong with the Patriots. Can the Patriots survive? Which I am not in that camp. I still think the Patriots win 12 games, maybe 13. Gilkey was telling me like that he was only giving them 11 at max when I was talking to him. 12 wins seems like a minimum for me at this point.
Yeah, I still see 12 wins. I just think the Chiefs exposed a lot of the Patriots. Let me rephrase. I think they just exposed that they are not what everybody thought they were, me included. Like Caleb was saying, like on Scott Van Pelt right after the game, he was talking about what's wrong with the Patriots, what's wrong with the Patriots, not how well the Chiefs played, which annoys me. But the Patriots are the kings. They just came off a Super Bowl, obviously. They're the dynasty. But yeah, we exposed a lot of the Patriots' faults, but I do think they'll get it together. They have the best coach. They have the quarterback, and I do think a minimum is 11 or 12 games. I would be shocked if they only won 10 or 11, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw one guy. I actually had a little bit of a Facebook argument with him, or not Facebook. It was a YouTube comment argument.
Oh, there you go.
And he said, like, he just made one of those bold YouTube comment statements. Patriots don't make the playoffs. I can't see who's going to beat them in that division. The only team with even a remote chance is the Jay Cutler-led Dolphins. So the Patriots are fine. They will win 5 games at a minimum in their division, and then they've just got to squeak out another few outside of the division. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Next up, in my beautiful things, continuing on with the topic of this game, we need to talk about. I wanted to focus on the penalties a little bit more because I couldn't, like, during the game, you just kind of saw, like, oh, there's a penalty. You didn't really realize it, but 15 penalties for 139 yards, that is worse than a lot of the early 2010s Raiders teams. Like, that is 2011 Raiders-esque right there, and that's not something that you can win football games with consistently. I'm always kind of it all evens out kind of person. You can't expect 21 points in the fourth quarter. You can't expect deep passes out of Alex Smith. So you better, if the offense is going to even back down, you better get the penalties back towards a respectable level, and that's, I don't know, 15 penalties. I just wanted to talk about that a quick second. Not that I have any big points about it. Just get the penalties down.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of reassuring, we had such a great game on so many different levels, offensively, on the offense and the defense, but you see 139 yards just given to the Patriots, and you still win big. So I think that is reassuring in a way. What's that? What stat are you bringing up?
It's in here somewhere. Yeah, first downs from penalties. You gave the Patriots 4 free first downs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see any other time besides last Thursday where the Chiefs win that game with giving up that many yards.
And I had this is in my bad things that happened basically column. The other one is you have to talk about Eric Berry. Nick mentioned it a little bit, but we got to stay in order on my notes or else I'll get all confused. So, Eric Berry, he went down. You said Sorensen. You said Ron Parker. How can you make up for that kind of production? It's going to have to be. You think about it, the run defense just got worse, and the pass. Not many players have the kind of effect in both areas of the defense that Eric Berry does, and you will be missed, man. Eric Berry is one of probably 5 or 6 players on this team that you can't just plug in a replacement and have 90% of the output. Even some of our stars. If Travis Kelce goes down, I trust Demetrius Harris's hands enough for a couple weeks or so that he can fill in and you won't lose games because of him. Eric Berry is one of those guys on the team. Last year I named him my team MVP. So, he's not a guy that's going to be easily replaced. Hopefully he's at least in the locker room because
he is a big team leader.
I know the guys love him, and he walks out on crutches. Maybe that'll fire the boys up a little bit.
I mean, it's just the Chiefs' defense is already average to below average on the run, and you lose your heart and soul of your run defense because he comes up on a lot. People don't notice he comes up on a lot of running plays and makes up for the faults of the linebackers. So he wasn't great on passing defense, but he was good. He's an All-Pro, top 5 defensive player. He's probably the 1 or 2 best safety in the league.
I mean, he's the highest paid safety.
He's
the
highest
better
paid.
Be top.
Yeah,
top
he's top 2, top 3, definitely. There is not a lot of silver linings in this.
Other than Sorensen, will get way more playing time, and he can get more
experience for your future when he's a veteran. I guess if you want to look at it that way, that's fine.
There's no such thing.
There's just not a lot of positives come out of this situation.
And I think that's basically all I had on the on Chiefs Patriots, which I can't believe it happened.
Big win.
That's all I've got.
Let's go.
So we're going to take our first break here. I believe we are. I just accidentally closed that. That's cool. I believe we're fairly decently. Let's see. Yeah, that was 18 minutes. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
Good stuff.
So we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to the Eagles and the Chiefs and to get ourselves together, and we'll move on. You're listening to Tru Homiez Podcast, live from Pittsburgh, Kansas, in the Equity Bank Studios. All right, we're back here. I wanted to see if we have any viewers though before we carried on.
Ian, are you there? Oh wait, no, Ian's at work.
Yeah.
Gilkey, are you there?
I doubt it. He doesn't have Twitter, and I didn't call him or anything. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, boo! We have no viewers.
What's wrong with you guys? You're missing so much good data in here and freaking analysis.
Yeah.
We're giving you stats.
Yeah, we're really good at stating the obvious, and then I have some stats to mix it up this week a little bit. All right. Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Last week, they had a very ugly game against the Redskins, but in the highlight reels that I watched, it looked pretty normal.
Right.
As Nick was saying before I unmuted the microphone, this is my team. I picked the Eagles to win in the NFC East, so I should obviously have very, very strong opinions on it. So, yeah, here are my strong opinions. I think the Eagles win the NFC East, but when I made that pick, that's on my assumption that they will get stronger as the year goes on. I think the Chiefs are playing the Eagles at a good time. I think by the end of the year, the Eagles are going to come together. You look at it, every freaking little bit of experience you can get under a young quarterback's belt is obviously going to be beneficial. And I believe that somewhere during this year, he turns the corner from being a below-average quarterback to being a quarterback that can lead a team to the playoffs. He looked decent, I guess, last week.
He was okay. I wouldn't say he was great.
Yeah,
if you look at his stats without watching the game, I think you're impressed. But
yeah.
I mean, I think a big thing with this game is Zach Ertz. He had 8 receptions for 93 yards.
He had a lot of fantasy points.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, congrats to everyone who has Zach Ertz.
Yeah, Austin.
But that's
the guy I played.
But this brings back the Eric Berry argument. Who's going to be big on covering Zach Ertz the whole time? Is it going to be Marcus Peters? That's a big size disadvantage.
Well, it's not just Zach Ertz, though. It's Darren Sproles as well coming out of the backfield.
I forgot old man Darren Sproles still getting production.
Yeah, dude.
I always forget about him. How do you say that guy's last name?
Nelson Aguilar.
Aguilar? I was going to say Aguilar. But I think the Eagles are a solid team. Okay, I don't see them winning the division. And I do think Carson Wentz will be a good quarterback at some point in his career, but it's not going to be this year.
I mean, I see that he has like an Andy Dalton ceiling out here. He's going to be top 5 in the NFL, just like Andy Dalton.
Was that your take on Andy Dalton?
Yeah, dude. Well, no, I've been telling Gilkey that for days, though. Every time he criticizes Andy Dalton, top 5 quarterback in the league, and he gets pissed. Yeah. So the Eagles. Since you've last heard of them, over the offseason they added LeGarrette Blount, who rushed for an astounding 46 yards on 3.3 yards per carry off of 14 carries. So if we get into my keys, one of my keys is keep a bad running team down. Yeah, that's pretty much what you've got there. LeGarrette Blount is an old man at this point. He's got a really good name, but that's about all the rushing offense. A name doesn't account for yards, so I would say keep a bad rushing team down. Does that sound like a good key?
That sounds pretty good.
I tried to go for more than just turnovers and win the line of scrimmage.
I mean, when Washington gives up 4 turnovers and they win by only 13, that's a huge key.
That's probably the best key. Protect the football. Washington turned it over 4 times against them. I don't know if that means that Washington's bad.
No, I don't think Washington's bad. I don't think the Eagles are bad. I think they're good. I think they're good. I think Washington's okay. They'll have an average year, but yeah, keep them down. If, like Caleb said, if Carson Wentz is going to be this really good quarterback, who's going to lead them, who has the ability to lead them to a playoff. You got to make sure keep under 100 yards. I think that's a pretty easy order to ask.
Yeah, if they don't have a running game, they can't run play action.
Right,
they can't run play action. A young quarterback is going to have.
I view this game as long as we keep the rushing yards down. I think the Chiefs are going to go to a pretty easy win because at this point we can probably say we have the quarterback advantage. Correct?
Yeah, I guess.
At this point, from the sample we've seen
obviously.
of this season.
Yeah, we have the quarterback advantage against every person on the planet right now, though.
Right. But I think skills personnel-wise, quarterback-wise, defense, I think it's debatable. But I think that the Eagles might lose last week if it wasn't for those 4 turnovers, but they did make the plays to get those turnovers, so you can say that. But I do think the Chiefs win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no longer allowed to say that turnovers are pure luck or anything because I've watched the Chiefs the last couple of years. So from now on,
that argument drives me insane.
Yeah,
that it's just pure luck.
I mean, but then again, it kind of is. But you have to make the plays to get them. My final one was this is opening day at the big A, the Arrowhead. Make life tough on the young QB. That's pass rush. That's loud crowd noise. That is good coverage downfield. You've got to be able to rattle him a little bit. And he's never played in Arrowhead Stadium. He doesn't know what it's going to be like. So give the crowd a reason to be loud. Make big plays. Keep the crowd going. We'll get out of here with a win. I think if you looked at like the Vegas line right now, which I didn't, it's got to be really heavily in favor of the Chiefs. After the Chiefs beat down, honestly, if I was a betting man, I would probably bet the Eagles no matter what the line is, because the line has got to be high.
We are looking that up right now.
Yeah, that's all.
The Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite over the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are 5.5 points better than the Eagles.
I do.
Well,
okay, probably not actually. I keep trying to convince myself that we're going to be okay for the Eric Berry injury, but I'm honestly really worried. But anyway,
5.5 points is a big line in the NFL too.
Yeah, it is a big line.
They almost always hover at 2.5.
Right. It is probably closer to 2 or 3 in the NFL. But yeah, make the life tough for the young QB. I don't think it'll take any motivation for the Arrowhead faithful to be crazy and loud. But I've noticed that sometimes it's a day game, right? It's at 12.
I believe so, yeah.
I notice in day games the fans don't bring it as much as night games, but with this huge win over the Patriots, I think everyone's going to be pumped. It's the home opener. Yeah. They're looking good.
I can guarantee it'll be a full stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be packed.
After that win, I haven't looked at ticket prices, but they got to be
pretty freaking high. And I kind of want I want to see a few losses in there, Chiefs, because I want to go to a division game against Oakland this year. So if we're gonna be top 3 in the NFL, I'm probably not gonna be able to afford those tickets.
Anyway,
but that's selfish me talking.
Anyway, I've got a prediction here. And speaking of selfish, maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I'm spoiled by the Chiefs last week, but I've got the Chiefs 31, the Eagles 27. The Chiefs are not a 31 point per game scoring team. Their average will not be that high. But I mean, after that performance last week, 31 points, that does not sound outlandish. Normally, I always predict the Chiefs about 27, and that's like a top end for me. When you're predicting, side note, when you're predicting the score of NFL games, it's always handy to take 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. That's an above average offensive game. I'll normally do 20 points or 27 points. Those are my 2. 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, or 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. This is like top end. 4 touchdowns and a field goal, that's up there. 31 points, 27 for the Eagles. Chiefs get out of here, but they do not cover.
I will say the Chiefs win 28-24. I don't expect the defense to look great. I think there's going to be some backlash from the injury of Eric Berry. I do see. Thank you for that.
I can't breathe.
That's fine, as long as you can breathe. I don't expect Alex Smith to throw for 350 plus. I do expect a good game. I don't think we're going to see a new Alex Smith, but an Alex Smith that is better than last year, more not so predictable, I should say, more aggressive. So I think the Chiefs win by 4. It'll take a lot from the defense, especially if we're going to allow Zach Ertz and old man Derek Sproles to run all over the field, which I think is possible. I'm a big Zach Ertz guy, so
Yeah.
he was my fantasy guy last year, and he helped me a lot. So I'm going to be big on Zach Ertz for a couple of years. But yeah, I think the Chiefs win by 4.
I had Zach Ertz 2 years ago, and he got hurt. So there's my Zach Ertz experience. One thing I was just thinking about while you were talking there. Tyreek Hill, in the last, I believe this last 7 regular season or last 7 games or whatever it is, he has a touchdown of over 60 yards. Does that happen?
No, I mean, from what the data we have, that's you can pretty much expect it, I guess, at this point. But it's a lot to ask, obviously, big plays like that. But I do think he has a good game. I didn't expect Tyreek Hill to be a great wide receiver number 1. I see him as a number 2 guy, just more of a gadget player who can break big plays every now and then. But I think he has a good game. Maybe not 100 yards, but around a 80-yard performance. Yeah. That'd be fine with me. Maybe a touchdown. I see this game and I see Travis Kelce having a big one. I don't know why, but I think it's Travis Kelce's team, and I think it's his time to shine.
Yeah. And my one other thing we didn't talk about, this is the storyline you're going to hear about all freaking pregame long, will be Doug Peterson versus Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Not that matters at all. I'm sure they've had a phone call during the week. They had a nice chat, and right now both of them are playing chess in their head with what's going to happen. But I don't think that'll matter too much.
It's not going to matter in this whole scheme of things.
Not something you need to talk about too much.
No. Best of luck, Doug Peterson, though.
Yeah. So we could take a break right now, but I don't really feel like it. So we are going to move straight on in to college news. And I think we can go through this fairly quickly and get on with this. Not quite as long a show because not as much hype for the Eagles as there was the Patriots. But we can quickly glance over the college football scene. I love college football. I love KU. Those two don't go together very well.
Rock Chalk, losing his program in the past decade.
I didn't know that stat, but
losing his FBS program in the last decade, yep.
Well, the Orange Bowl season's in that decade, too.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 07.
But after that Insight Bowl, it was just straight plummet. It wasn't like a 4 or 5 win season. It was straight to 3 wins.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice...
Straight downhill.
Whatever that's called.
The roller coaster went downhill and then never went back up.
Oh, freaking...
Turner Gill?
No, I can't remember the math term I was looking for. God dang it. Anyway, KU sucks.
KU's not good.
KU will win 2 games max, and that's if they upset Ohio. They have to upset Ohio.
And I'm always huge on maybe we can sneak a win in against Iowa State. Iowa State looked fairly decent against Iowa this week. And I don't know if...
Texas destroyed San Jose State.
Baylor still looks bad, but they're not going to beat Baylor.
I don't know, man. Get back on the hype train.
At this point, I don't expect any win from them except for this week.
I mean, you couldn't beat a bad MAC team at home. You're not beating a better MAC team
on the road, right?
But we'll see.
I think I always thought KU's biggest problem was the quarterback.
Bring back Ryan Willis.
Yeah, come back Montel Kozart, who played pretty well the past couple of games for Boise State. But it's the defense, really. I mean, Peyton Benner did not play well whatsoever. He made some really bad decisions, really inaccurate throws. But I do think the defense needs to take a big step forward if they expect to compete in the next few weeks in the Big 12. And I can't wait for that Oklahoma game. Baker Mayfield's going to be the Heisman winner after that KU game.
Baker Mayfield's going to throw 6 touchdowns in the first quarter and then go sit on the bench
and fly his flag. Or he wouldn't fly his flag against on the road at KU.
Yeah, there's no need.
He'd just be sitting back drinking a Pepsi or something.
Yeah, maybe he'll go hang out on the hill. Make
probably
some friends.
hit up some chicks from KU. Sleep with some frat guys' boyfriends, girlfriends.
I read an article that he's like a huge Halo player.
Really?
Like he was like a competitive Halo player.
Hey, I've always been big on Baker Mayfield.
So maybe that's what he'll get.
Yeah, he'll go play some Halo in the locker room.
Yeah, so that leads very nicely into my next point here. Oklahoma is good. That was the best college football game of the year so far.
Great.
In the shoe. I left the Pitt game early for it, and it was completely worth it. I didn't regret that for a second. Oklahoma is good. Baker Mayfield is your early Heisman candidate. It's Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson right now, but Lamar Jackson's story's already been written, so I would say if I was going to put money down right now, Baker Mayfield is my Heisman winner.
Especially since he did that whole flag waving thing and he's got everybody talking. Yeah. Everyone's going to be paying attention.
Storylines.
Yep.
He knows how to sell himself. I also put in here, so is USC. USC looked really good against Stanford in their game. Lamar Jackson is still awesome. He's going to be playing against Clemson this week. The slate is not as good this week for college football, but I will be paying attention to Louisville-Clemson.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game. Speaking of Louisville, I do not understand. Well, Caleb talks a lot about storylines, and storylines is huge in sports, especially college sports, obviously.
Yeah.
But Lamar Jackson is, until proven otherwise, he's still the best quarterback in college football. I don't remember any Heisman ever having so much less hype in their oncoming season after the Heisman than Lamar Jackson. And I don't understand. It could be because of the storyline. It could be because Louisville is not the national contender.
Yeah.
But I still think he's the best quarterback in college football.
It's a combination of Louisville is not a title contender as of right now, and probably won't be because they're certain, like they have the quarterback, they have the weapons on the outside, but they're in the end they're a middle. They play like a Big 12 team, and Big 12 teams are not national contenders.
They kind of remind me of like a Texas Tech.
I was
better than Texas Tech.
I was about to give them TCU.
TCU Tech, yeah. That's...
Although TCU against Arkansas, I watched TCU power football the crap out of Arkansas.
Sir. Yes, they did.
It was a beautiful, beautiful scene. But it's also because of the way he finished the season last year, and even in the bowl game that they played in. I believe they played in the maybe it was the Orange Bowl. I believe it was the Orange Bowl. He didn't look good in that, and it's kind of, you can't. He lost a lot of his hype train. Like you've got a train. Once you slow that thing down, it's hard to get it going.
Yeah, it's hard to get it going.
But I would say as of right now, he's going to be invited to the Heisman ceremony. Like, I mean, people are still talking about him, but they're talking about him in the sense of they're saying, why aren't people talking about him? Which in itself is talking about him. Like I was watching the pregame show for Saturday Night Football, and that's what Mac Brown, and whatever that other guy's name is, they were talking about. They were saying, why aren't people talking about Lamar Jackson? Well, it's because the story's been written. You can't write the story again. A sequel will never sell as well. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson though, still a great guy. Probably gets drafted in the 6th round, asked to play receiver.
He's going to get drafted in the 3rd round and then asked to play receiver. That
he will be asked to play receiver.
Yeah, I've always thought that every time I watch him that this is not going to translate. He's going to be a Terrell Pryor-esque, but not as good.
No, he'll be better than Terrell Pryor. I am fully on the Lamar Jackson will be an above average receiver.
Really?
Yeah, like I was watching this thing on him today. He has they said he had 4.3 something speed.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, it was something. You can look that up. They were talking about that on SportsCenter today. I also put in here Michigan, USC, and Penn State are also good. Wait, I put USC in here twice. I'm retarded. Don't say that word.
2017. Do not say that.
People get mad. Michigan, one of the best defenses in the country. Really solid. Spates looks good. Spates looks like he's improved. I believe Michigan. This was something I was thinking about putting in here, but it's probably a little bit too early. But I believe Michigan is a playoff contender. I would say they are the favorite over Penn State in a lot of people's minds. Although Penn State is ranked higher in the AP right now, I would say Michigan is the more likely one to come out of the Big Ten. Honestly, with Oklahoma being good, it presents a huge problem here for the committee because We need an 8-team playoff. USC is really good. USC beat Stanford. I don't see if they lose in the Pac-12, it will be on a fluke to UCLA or something like that because it's a rivalry game. Weird things happen. Alabama should not lose in the SEC. The SEC is down outside of Alabama, so I don't see a lot. Auburn's decent-ish, but I don't see an Auburn loss in there unless we get some weird Iron Bowl crap. So Alabama, they should make the playoff. Clemson, if they beat Louisville, they have a really easy schedule thanks to Francois' injury. They should not lose in the ACC. And either Penn State or USC will be in there.
The thing is, it's going to piss people off. These are big blue blood, or is it blue blood in college football? I don't know what they call them.
Yeah.
The big storied programs.
Power 5.
The big Power 5 programs are all up this year. Especially, not really SEC.
It's like, though, there's like one team from each league that's up, though.
Right.
It's not like in the past you've had like Alabama and LSU are both like vying for it, you know? The conferences seem to have already shaken themselves out. Obviously, there will be upsets. This will make no sense in 3 months.
Right.
But
yeah.
But I would say outside of the Big Ten, where you've got Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, even though they lost, they're still a contender if they're able to win out. But outside of the Big Ten, the ACC looks like it'll shake itself out pretty well, unless Louisville's able to upset Clemson. It's because we have these big games at the start of the year. Oklahoma, nobody's going to beat them in the Big 12. USC, the second best team in that conference, they've already played. They've already played Stanford. Clemson, the second best team in their conference, they are playing in week 3. Maybe those games should be pushed back conferences. Just saying. But yeah, there's my playoff talk. None of that will make sense in 3 months.
Let's talk about the stuff that matters, okay?
No.
Let's talk about good stuff. And there you have it, boys and girls. The Kansas City Royals. Yeah, hopefully
have you seen my viewing figures? I'm like 97% male on my audiences.
Hey, I support women's rights. I'm a Democrat. I voted for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump's a bigot and a misogynistic douchebag, white supremacist.
Stick to sports.
Women power. Am I going to get fired for this? Trump's going to call on me. He's going to say, right, the Pitt State Rec needs to fire this kid for saying untrue things.
Fake news.
Anyway, okay.
I don't know. I don't really want to debate him, but I disagree with all of his things. I'm the biggest Trump supporter that has ever existed.
That is true. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And a bigot.
Yeah.
And
I also hate liberals. I'd like to say that is Craig yelling and pounding walls for a team that is 5 games out of the wild card with 16 games remaining. Remember this?
The white flag is out, people. Enjoy. I want everybody to watch every single minute of every Royals game.
Yeah.
And remember what this feels like.
Yeah.
We're in it right now. I assume we'll get a few more games in. We'll probably win a few more games, but experience the Royals one last time before Chiefs mania begins, really. And that's really all I have to say is enjoy it because they're done. They did not seize the opportunity they've had this year. They bought pieces, didn't work out. The Padres didn't do us any favor. And it's done, dude. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, not many people have talked about it, but you traded Dyson for a pitcher that got hurt and did nothing.
Jorge Soler.
You traded Wade Davis for an outfielder
who rakes in AAA. He's raking in AAA right now,
that did nothing. I don't know. All of those people from the Padres sucked.
They were horrible. We don't have a closer.
Melky Cabrera I don't know. He's been fine, I guess.
Okay.
Who cares? It's not his fault that the team has fell apart.
Melky Cabrera wasn't going to change the bottom half of the lineup.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Dayton Moore, I think he lost the magic touch this year.
It's weird because the past 3 years he's just been gold. Everything he touched turns to gold. And now seeing the state of the Royals right now, It's hard to see, but we are Royals fans. We can't get selfish just because we had 2 years of dominance. Let's not forget who we are.
No, don't.
We're Tigers. We're Missouri fans, dude. We're Tigers.
I mean, really?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Really?
I was trying to get
Can you expect anything less?
I was just about to say that before you started talking. But yeah, the Royals are done, guys.
My other thing that I was going to mention was you signed Alex Gordon and not the switch-hitting second baseman / utility player we had. You signed Alex Gordon, a man who bats 200. They got the same amount of money. I don't know. Peyton Moore, you're going to the Royals Hall of Fame. We love you.
We'll never forget that run. It was great.
Yeah, that's how I ended the notes there. I want to go. They have one more homestand. They play the Diamondbacks and the White Sox. I want to go to one of those games just so I can see Eric Hosmer in person one last time.
Dang it!
Before he puts on a Red Sox or a Yankees or a Dodgers jersey.
It's going to hurt so bad seeing him rake next year in the playoffs, hitting home runs in that small little ballpark that they call Yankee Stadium. It's going to hurt. He's going to be winning a World Series the next couple of years with somebody. Hopefully, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mike Moustakas stay.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I've heard a lot of the National Baseball writers say that we should be signing Lorenzo Cain. But I've always saw Lorenzo, and I thought he'd be stepping out the door within the next couple of years. But I with this power that we're seeing, although he's been unhealthy, Moose would look like a good sign.
Yeah. And Cuthbert really people were talking about before this year that Cuthbert was there waiting in the wings, but he hasn't done anything this year to earn that kind of trust.
He's a decent bat, but there's no way we should trust him with that, unless you want to put Whit Merrifield at third.
Yeah, so right now, first of all, Whit Merrifield, you mentioned him. If you're going to buy any Royals jersey, Whit Merrifield should be the one.
Sir.
Whit Merrifield, I believe, he is going to be the one who, in this downturn that's coming up, he's going to be the, David DeJesus.
Face of the franchise somewhat?
Yeah, he is going to be the Mike Sweeney. He's going to be the guy that you remember from this downturn that's coming, because it's coming, and it will hit hard next year when they win, 69 games. Hot take coming out right now.
Nice.
69.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the one you're gonna want to own the jersey of, and in 30 years when they're good again, you're gonna be like, I remember the Whit Merrifield days.
God, that team sucked, but Whit Merrifield though.
Yeah.
And maybe Duffy's in that category too. I don't.
But Duffy was really here during the good time.
Right, he was there, but he's signed. He's gonna stay with the team for a while, probably the next 3 or 4 years. So, I think he's never going to be the Cy Young candidate like I was hoping he would be after his stretch last year. But he's gonna be solid for you. But like Caleb said, I think Whit Merrifield's our guy. I've been big on Whit since he came up last year, and I'm big on him now. He's gonna be a really solid player for years to come.
So before we close this out, if I give you the checkbook of the Royals, and you're not allowed to sign Hosmer because we've decided we hate Hosmer, but you can sign one player of the guys coming up. Who is it?
Of the guys, what do you mean by
of the guys that are coming up for the contracts?
Oh, contracts. Okay.
Yeah. Is it Moustakas?
I think it's Moustakas. I mean, he's a really good defensive player. He's not great, but his power, if we're going to see that bat within the next 2 or 3 years, if he can get us 30 plus home runs, I will definitely take that. Hosmer's. I'm not even going to talk about Hosmer, but I think Moose is our guy.
Yeah.
Kane's great. I love Kane. But yeah, I really don't think we should be able to say we can turn down a power bat at this point from what we've seen the past, 10 years, besides Mike Sweeney, our last power bat, if so to speak.
I don't know, Billy Butler had him a year.
Yeah, he had a decent year. Oh, when it wasn't 2013 when the All-Star game came and we booed Cano.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
Good time.
But yeah, anyway, I do think Moose is our guy.
I actually probably lean more towards Kane, just because the Royals never have outfielders that I can remember.
David DeJesus, man.
Yeah, sure.
Francoeur.
Yeah, Francoeur. I watched a video today talking about how he's like, of people with as many at-bats as him, he is like one of the worst statistical players in Major League Baseball history.
I love Francoeur.
No, here, I'll show you the video afterwards. It's this guy I recently discovered. Beautiful videos. You'll waste your life watching them. Anyway, I think that pretty much concludes the show. Somehow we managed to drag this out like 45, 50 minutes. Let me see, what is the time there? 51 minutes. So
good
there
stuff.
You go.
Good stuff.
I don't know. Decent show, I would say.
Yeah.
As we continue to improve, thank you for watching. Comment all of your grievances down below.
We will see you next week.
Wait, hold up. Before we go, let's see if we got any. Oh my goodness, we have a viewer.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
If this is Ian, fuck you and fuck Missouri. If it's anybody else, thanks for watching.
You're great. Leave any comments. We'll be sure to get back to them. If you have anything you want us to talk about in the next show, go ahead and leave that down there and we will discuss it. I've got a few ideas for segments that we're going to start here in the near future, so we'll spice things up a little bit more.
Oh, and if you want any incentive to listen to next week's show, I've heard Clay Travis might come on. Okay.
Oh yeah. Actually,
I talked to my producer. Clay Travis may or may not be coming on the show.
If we actually get a guest, it would probably be Ian Jones. So, don't worry, Ian didn't watch this far. He'll claim he did, but he didn't watch the whole show.
Okay, so. Ian Jones or Clay Travis?
Either or. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.